These are the VRS Direct Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All three pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit IRacing.com.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air. Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down. The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory, this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough?
A dominant performance.
You gotta say no, baby. Let's go!
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody's pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing. Right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500!
Driver! Start!
If you're looking to get serious in sim racing, one of the first things to do is upgrade your wheelbase and pedals. The powerful force feedback in our direct drive wheelbase makes a huge difference, and our highly adjustable precision pedals will give you the consistency you need to improve. So you'll not only get the best value for your money, but you'll also benefit from our quick, local shipping from Australia and save even more. Our transparent pricing has GST included, so there's no nasty surprises at checkout or further customs delays and charges. And if you're near Melbourne, you can simply pick up your hardware from our showroom and get a free product walkthrough from one of our VRS coaches. We offer excellent customer service after the sale, and our hardware is made of the highest quality components. To get yours today, just go to the URL on the screen or click on the button below. But hurry, stock is always limited due to high demand. So if you want to get faster, sooner, VRS is your answer.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taken over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane. I hear the echoes of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain. Cutting laps, making gains. Feeling tired, get to my aim. The desire to get to victory lane. Speeding faster, no control. Feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain. Only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taken over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the iRacing World Challenge presents the VRS Virtual Racing School Porsche Cup Series, as we're into finals action now. The droppable rounds have surpassed us, and as we get into the final two rounds of the season, it's into undroppable territory. If any of our championship contenders are going to have poor runs, they don't want it to be across the next 2 weeks, as they're going to have to carry those points into the final round and into the deciding portion of the championship. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brandon Stuck once again. We're out in beautiful sunny Miami, Florida for the Miami Autodrome this evening in our semi-final format. We've run it previously as our grand finale format, 2 30-minute feature races, with the second of which having a top 15 inversion on the grid. But what it will mean is now that we bring the 2 30-minute races to the semi-final, it means for the grand final next week, it's 2 40-minute feature races in what is bound to be a spectacular affair when we head out to Adelaide Street Circuit for the very first time in the series. Brandon, it's great to be here once again with you, and Miami, being one of the newest circuits in the iRacing service, offers up its own challenges, but it was one of the earliest tracks that was in the iRacing official calendar for the Porsche Cup Series earlier in the season. So that means that these drivers, if they do run officials, should have plenty of practice in these cars around here.
You certainly would think so. Look, 3.5 hours out of where we were last week for Daytona, back here in Florida, staying in Florida, sorry, I should say, but here from Miami. But yeah, look, as you said, one of the newest tracks on the calendar. Never driven this track myself, but looking forward to seeing how this goes. Normally this track hosts Formula One, but tonight it's going to host us some Porsche action. Well,
you know, throughout the year, actually, of the US and or North American-based Formula One rounds, of course, the Porsche Cup does run alongside it. At the very least, I know at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve up in Montreal as well. unsure if they actually run in the Miami Grand Prix weekend. I'd have to double check, honestly, if they did. But what we do know is, for those that are, common viewers or regular viewers of the channel, you would have gotten a preview of this circuit a few weeks ago in the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans Series, when we're racing here with the Split 2 action in Season 26. That was, of course, the second last round 2 weeks ago. If you've missed the action from across the weekend, we've already crowned a champion in one of the series that we race this weekend. Previously, the vets have finished up on Saturday evening, where Shane Randall claimed the Split 2 championship for the first time in his career, doing so without a single race win. It's not the same that can be said, though, about our championship contenders this season, Brandon, as all of our contenders, barring Sam Muir, have won races here in the VRS Porsche Cup Series for Season 4.
Yeah, it's certainly been a very close championship, up and down, all the different race winners we've had, and the different bits of action that we've seen so far this season. Well, I mean, obviously I've only joined halfway through, but yeah, look, this is looking really, really close right now between a few of our contenders. Looking forward to seeing how it goes from here on out.
Well, of course, this is how the points are currently standing. So Ryan Bettis, 1,626 points, leads the championship table at this stage. Daniel Harris has now jumped Dylan Shepherd into P2 by one solitary point, sitting on 1,567 points. Dylan last week was disqualified for suspected intentional wrecking. That was then lifted and downgraded to a rear-of-grid start for this evening and a 30-second time penalty last week due to the grey area that we found within that incident in our post-race investigation. So instead, his points were reinstated for that race. He was put 30 seconds down the road, though. Not used as a drop round, though. His drop round from earlier in the season in round 1 still held true. So he has carried those points from last week's race at Daytona into tonight, and he'll have to carry whatever points he gets out of tonight's race as well into the final round next week out at Adelaide Street Circuit, of course, as everyone else will too. Samuel P4 in the championship at this stage, 1,514 points, still within a mathematical chance of winning the championship, but ultimately is going to take some real tenacity and maybe a little bit of good luck as well for him to win this title for the third time in a row. Ellie Gardner, third place in the championship. Again, mathematical chance, but ultimately an Everest-level hill to climb. Alex Tzoukas leads the Silver Championship this stage on 1,322 points ahead of Jack Wilkins in P2 on 1,186. Scott Rankin not here tonight. That's going to drop him out of the championship contention. Craig Schultz is within mathematical chance, but ultimately that's again another Mount Everest-level hill to climb. For Wilkins, he is within a shout, but it's going to take Alex Tzoukas having some very, very poor luck across the next 2 weeks for him to win that title. Tim Nicol closely leads to Todd Suter at the moment, 960 points to 943. Tim not on track tonight, though. With Todd on track this evening, he should take the lead of the championship, although Gary Watson is also out there, as is Luke Crum, so maybe both of those guys could gain some crucial points on the current championship leader leading out of tonight's race. Qualifying is about to begin, and we're going to take this quick opportunity to get a wondrous look at this Miami International Autodrome here this evening. It's a wondrous place to go racing, of course, as Brandon said, used for the Miami Grand Prix in Formula One, and is right down above the Florida Keys here. It's, of course, going to be the basis for Vice City and Rockstar's Grand Theft Auto 6 coming up, so if you want to get a taste of the city, at least in a simulated form, you can buy, of course, GTA 6 when it comes out and try it out, or buy the old GTA Vice City from back in the early 2000s and experiencing it from back then as well. Of course, this circuit surrounds the Hard Rock Cafe Stadium, home to the Miami Dolphins for the NFL. It was opened back in 2022. It's now officially the newest racing circuit on iRacing in terms of when it was opened in real life. Here for Miami Gardens, it's 5.4 Ks, 3.3 miles in the old language, and 19 turns as well. It all starts in the main straight. We've got quite a few bottleneck zones across the circuit, including through Turn 1 and Turn 2 and Turn 3, up towards Turn 7 and Turn 8, and down at Turn 11 through the tightening section to Turn 16, and then, of course, the long straight into the hairpin at 17. There's quite a few sections around this place, Brandon, where we could see drivers getting a little bit overzealous or possibly even into some contact with each other.
It certainly can be. I'm looking forward to seeing how the first lap's going to go, not just at turn 1, but also up at the tight section there between 14 and 15. But looking at this track here, you know, there's a lot of good opportunities for some really good straight line racing, some slipstreaming, maybe pull out, have a bit of a battle, but we'll see how it goes tonight. A lot of this left and right section here might tire the drivers out a little bit, but we'll certainly look forward to seeing how it goes tonight.
We will indeed. So, yeah, as we said, you know, 2 30-minute races to come your way. That means that after the 15 minutes is completed, we will get cut off and we'll go straight into race 1. The warm-up session will come in between the races here this evening, as it always would for a heat race format. Jack Wilkins out on the circuit at the moment, yet to set a time, of course, as everyone's out there for their first attempts now. As we said, Dylan Shepherd will not be taking part in qualifying. He must not set a lap in qualifying, otherwise he could get himself a penalty from race control, as he needs to be starting from the back of the grid on our start grid. It's not a pit lane start, it is a rear of grid start. He has been told that by race control, and he's doing the right thing right now and sitting in pit lane and waiting it out until we get to race 1 start. As I said, top 15 inversion tonight. We've currently got, I believe, 18 cars signed up for the session, so it's basically going to be a full inverted grid, minus 3 drivers at the back end of the field. What that will mean is it's eliminated any thoughts or possibilities of pulling the Sam Muir rule off, although which is now considered to be against the rule set, where you deliberately finish in P10 to get pole position for race 2. You're going to be giving up quite a few more points to finish in P15 tonight, Brandon, than you would if you were finishing P10. Comparatively to people who are running up the front end of town. And if one of your contenders are at P1, it's not going to be worth getting pole for race 2 if you're giving up 14 positions worth of points here, especially with them being staggered points differences, where it gets larger the higher you go up the totem pole. And for Shepherd, he's going to have work to do to get his way forward here tonight and get some good points on the board compared to his teammate Bettis and to Daniel Harris and Sam Muir as well. His first time's coming in. Muir to the top, 156.58, and we'll see where the times lie after the first attempts here in Miami Autodrome.
Yeah, going back to your point there on the points and obviously the reverse grid format and everything like that, that's the one thing that I think if you're someone like Blacklock, Harris, let's see who else is in this. We've got Miles Burgess. You've got Bettis. If you've got the pace in the car and you know that you've got the pace in the car, I know that this is a sim world, but if you've got the pace in the car, you can feel comfortable. Let's say you get a top 3 finish in race 1 and you go to the back for the start of race 2. If you're comfortable with the speed of the car, you're going to make it up to the top 3 potentially for race 2 as well. There is that chance that you can get up there. So if you're one of those guys fighting for the championship, then yeah, it may be a bit hard at the start, but it's a 40-minute race, 2 40-minute races. So if you're starting at the back in that second 40 minutes, work your way up. You're going to be able to make it, because I would rather take as many points home as I can and try and finish as high as I can, rather than finishing at the back in race 1 just to get a good start for race 2.
Well, of course, that it's going to be a similar strategy next week when we are racing, of course, within those 2 40-minute races, and for 2 30-minute races this evening here at Miami. I mean, it's a similar strategy. It's a similar strategy, though. I mean, it's only 10 minutes less per race. There's going to be a pit stop involved tonight, unless we get safety cars, Brandon, which I think, looking at this circuit, we're going to go one of 2 ways. We're either going to get a few safety cars or we're going to get none. And that's going to be dictated by how aggressive the field is early on the start line. Last time we were here with Vets a few weeks ago, we had a massive pile-up in car park at turn 1 where multiple cars were involved. We didn't get a safety car off it because everyone was able to roll on and get back to pit lane. It was then later in the race where we had an incident with another car, and that then brought out the safety car for the field. So, it's still tried and true that these guys have got plenty of time to fight their way through the field across the 30 minutes in race 2 in particular. They don't need to necessarily go for it straight away. They've got a 5.4 kilometre circuit where multiple passing opportunities are available to them, as Harris now goes to the top, 155.85 here in qualifying. But you've got 5.4 Ks you're running per lap across 30 minutes with plenty of passing opportunities. They don't necessarily need to rush their way forward tonight. They'll get there through natural progression, I think, and through natural pace alone up to the front. I don't necessarily think there's a chance that if someone faster is at the very front of the field that they're going to run away with it easily, because I think that this track being such a power circuit with the drafting and with the passing opportunities, I feel like the front battle will stay particularly close unless those drivers in 2nd, 3rd and 4th begin to battle. That's then going to give the opportunity to the race leader to start to run away from them if they can't hang on to them through battling as well.
And if you look at last week's racing, I mean, we've seen it with these reverse grid races, that the top echelon exactly of the battles, so Harris, Blacklock, Bettis, Muir, Gardner's thrown her name into the hat there as well. So has Mazzono from last week as well. And you look at the way that these drivers were racing last week. They're comfortable in these Porsches. They're comfortable behind the wheels on their simulators at home. And regardless of whether you're running VR, triple screen, single screen, whatever it may be, you've obviously gotten used to the car in a way. And obviously, like you say, this track runs, was running on officials. And obviously, there's all that time. We have a week between Daytona and Miami. Who knows how many practice laps these drivers have put in between the two, just to sort of get their head around racing lines, brake lines, just all that sort of stuff right there. As you can see there up ahead there, one of the drivers running way off into the boondocks at turn 1. But yeah, look, like, that's just the thing. You've got to be able to make this work. And of course, you can see a lot. We could see quite a bit of strategy play into this tonight, as you said. But pit stops, potentially, nothing guaranteed.
It's not. I mean, pit stops are not guaranteed tonight. Safety cars are not guaranteed either, but they go hand in hand. We need safety cars to make this whole race without taking a pit stop, across both races, in fact. Without them, they're not going to be able to save enough fuel to get to the end of both races. So, especially with this being such a heavy, such a power track, such a heavy, throttle-heavy circuit, the fuel save is not going to be as easy as what, say, a Daytona was last week. But in particular, as it often is here in the 30-minute races, even with a single safety car, Brandon, we're not guaranteed to go pit stopless in these races. Is Ryan Bettis in the wall? Or was that Ryan? No, it was Miles. Sorry, it was Miles Burgess in the wall up there. Both those OPR cars will be trying to get their cars qualified ahead of Daniel Harris at this stage, because ultimately they want to try and continue to gain points on him and try and lock him out of the championship before we get to the final round next week out at Adelaide Street Circuit, because Daniel's a very fast man. He's been very calculated this season, and he's played the smart game of just trying to consolidate his points with some very consistent runs throughout the season. Only a single race win back at Circuit of the Americas, but he is capable of getting race wins when he can. He's a former Victorian State Series esports driver last year when they ran the fast laps in the M2 cars at Bathurst, of course. But he's someone who we can't sniff our nose up to. He's very talented. He's got a lot of pace, and he's very capable of winning this championship this season. But it's often been the case with Daniel. He's often the bridesmaid and never the bride in this series. He has never won it in each attempt he's made. He wants it to be this season that he can win this title, but ultimately he is the underdog at this stage compared to Ryan Bettis and Dylan Shepherd based on their points tallies, but he is slowly chasing down that points lead of Ryan Bettis from last week's race.
Yeah, the way Daniel Harris was racing last week, it certainly shows that he does want this championship now, but he now knows that it's now time for like the business end. Like you said, no more drop rounds. You can't have a crappy round and expect it to get dropped off. It's all about trying to consolidate as much points as you can. And I think that is one thing that Harris is going to look to do. I mean, look at how far. I mean, look, he's third place at the moment. He's third place at the moment, ahead of Bettis. Bettis is now on a lap trying to get better up the grid. So I think that, we'll see what he does here now as he comes around the final couple of bends past the pit entry, sweeping around the final corner. And where does this place him? He goes second best. So second fastest is Bettis now. So now that'll sort of push Harris down a bit. Harris will have to push as well. We've only got just over 3 minutes left in this one. And you can see there all our golden drivers, essentially our gold class drivers, are up at the top there. Look at that, filling out the top 7 positions. So we'll see what that does. Of course, Dylan Shepherd cannot take part in this session. And I'm just looking at our timing here. Connor Nixon is on the list, but has not set a lap.
No, he's not. He's not qualified. And I saw him in the practice earlier on. He has participated in a race this season, but I'm not sure if he'll be racing this evening. Hopefully we do see Connor out there. I've worked with him a couple of times as a commentator, and he's often quite a bit of fun when you get to see him drive. Ellie Gardner, with the fastest final sector, has now put herself up into P3 in her final attempt in qualifying. This is Daniel Harris's final lap in qualifying. And actually, no, Daniel will get one more in. He's got enough time to get to the line and get one more lap in. So Daniel Harris has got to put a heater down now if he wants to start this 22 car ahead of Ryan Bettis. This is a maximum pressure lap for Daniel Harris, and we're going to ride on board with him the whole way. But Bettis has gone fastest in the first sector. He wants to go even better than he previously has. This is going to have to be an all-time lap here from Harris if he wants to get it ahead of Bettis, because I think Bettis could be going straight to pole position when he finishes out his final attempt right now in qualifying.
Stay on board here now and see what Harris can do coming up towards this little flip-flop section here, coming towards the back end of the track now to see where he ends up. And we'll just see if he can... Oh, he's got a bit of a traffic in front of him. He's got 5 cars in front of him.
Oh my god,
so let's hope he can navigate them quite well.
Oh, he's gone fastest. What? 40.52. That's insane.
That is incredibly quick. We'll stick with this, guys, and see if he can make this work. Coming up to the tight section now, up towards the back end of the circuit, running it nice and wide over the curb. Get a bit in there. There you go. Now around this sweeping right-hander. Let's see if he can make it stick. There you go. Good line through there. Up through this little tight section here. Whoop. Up, there you go. Up over the curb. And gets it around nicely there. Out towards the back end of the circuit. What does it do for Sector 2? A 41.7. That is going to be Sector 2 for him.
And if we look at their compared best, his previous best was a 41.5. It's not showing Bettis' time at the moment, unfortunately. I was hoping it would, but it's not going to. So this lap is going to be tight in comparison to Ryan Bettis' previous attempt. He had to pull out of his previous attempt, and he is no longer taking part in qualifying. And for Daniel Harris and the Dying Embers, he's going to need a purple sector in the final run to the line. He's got a bit of draft off the car ahead of him. Has it helped him get this car further up the field? Across the line into pole position, a 155.521 for Daniel Harris. He's put the lap together that he needed to, and he'll be starting on the front row of the grid. But will Blacklock be joining him? I don't think he will, because he's a little bit too far away from the line to finish out this lap. So Daniel Harris has claimed pole position for race 1 of the evening, and he will start that 22 car in front of both of his championship contenders, with the championship leader Ryan Bettis back in P3 and Dylan Shepherd starting at the back end of the field. What a crazy, crazy qualifying that was. And now we move on to race 1 for the evening. Starting grid for tonight's race. Daniel Harris will start on pole position alongside Sam Muir on the front row. Ryan Bettis, Ellie Gardner for the second row with Sam Blacklock and Miles Burgess making up our top 6. Simon Mazzomo will start ahead of the silver class pole sitter. Haven't seen him in a few weeks, but he's back this week. Harry Dodds starting out of P8. Alex Tzikis, the silver class championship leader, will start alongside P2 in that championship. Jack Wilkins inside of the top 10. Craig Schultz will start alongside Todd Suter, who'll start pole for the bronze class here this evening out of P12, with Jamie Fleming and Gary Watson in behind him. Luke Crum, Jolan Hansen ahead of Dylan Shepherd with that rear of grid penalty, and Connor Nixon, if he does start this race, he is starting this race, and he's starting it all the way at the back in P18. So he looks to be having some fun tonight at Miami, Brandon, by starting his car at the back end, knowing that he does not have a championship to fight for. He's out here for a bit of fun and to get a bit more experience in this car, I'm sure, with the Pro Series coming up next season. Race controllers here tonight, as always, Chief Race Steward Greg Favell, Leith McClement alongside him, and Jordan Ferguson. We're piloting that safety car, and I'm going to tell you right now, I feel like we're going to see a safety car tonight, Brandon. I feel like we're almost guaranteed to see one across the evening, knowing the tight concrete barriers and what they can bring around here at Miami. The last time we were here, we had a pretty wild moment where a driver had to crash their car because they had to hop out of it because their dog was getting attacked by a snake, Brandon.
Oh, no.
I hope we don't get that tonight now that we're back at Miami again. I hope we haven't started a reptilian curse here at Miami. I know that there's alligators are big in Florida, and there's anacondas and pythons down there as well, but hopefully it's not a trend of racing at Miami. I surely hope so. But we'll wait for everyone to grid up. The front 3 are not gridding up just yet. This is a smart play from them. They don't want to have to waste any of their fuel in the car by sitting stationary on the grid with the engines turned on, of course. Now, drivers could get on the grid and turn the engine off, but then you risk forgetting to turn it back on again and then absolutely stuffing up your race start. So they're deciding on the betterment of strategy of waiting as long as possible to hit the grid, and then finally they will get the cars there and they will get ready for the race start. So Muir will start on the front row alongside Daniel Harris, with Bettis and Gardner in behind him, Blacklock, Burgess, Mazzomo, and Dodds in P8. There's some love out there for Doddsy. Fire up Doddsy fans there from Junior Nitro on the chat with us. Joe Dyson watching as well from over in the US too. Good evening to you, sir, as well. He's learnt your name now, Brandon, as well. He said good evening to you as well. But he's cheering on Ellie Gardner out there. No JJ Endo in the race tonight, Joe, but Ellie is definitely out there and she's ready to go racing here at Miami as well. David Lauder in the chat with us too. And if you're watching along with us, get in the chat with us. Give the love to the drivers that you want to watch and cheer them on. As for 30 minutes, we'll go racing at Miami Autodrome. In the first final round of the season, undroppable time is here, and it's time to maximise on your points if you want to win a championship. All the lights are out. Miami, it's screaming with Porsche Cup action for the first time in the VRS Porsche Cup Series. Down towards turn 1 we go. Harris with a good start here leads to Muir, Bettis, Gardner, Burgess, Mazzomo. A little bit of toing and throwing in the background for positions as Doddsy's been put offline a little bit, and he's already dropped a couple of spots here to P11, and Shepherd is on the move early. He's already up 4 from that rear of grid start.
Oh, what a brilliant start there for Daniel Harris, Samuel, Ryan Bettis, all getting away there perfectly up the front. But look at Bettis, he's not wanting to give that one up. He wants to get past and he wants to get up towards Daniel Harris, who is his rival in this championship. And of course, we're going to keep an eye out for Dylan Shepherd at the back, who's already made it up to P12 off the back of the grid. So Dylan Shepherd, I think, has found a bit of extra lead in that right foot to put it down. But what a start for everyone so far. Pretty clean at the moment. We got someone at the back there. Looks like Jolene Hansen.
Yeah, Jolene Hansen. Yeah, he's. I think he's actually missed the start. He started from pit lane, it seems. So he had to jump off the grid and straight into pit lane, and now he's gotten going once again. But he is down the order here tonight. Is Jolene Hansen. Current intervals for you: Harris leading to Sam Muir by just over half a second at this stage. Bettis P3, Gardner, Burgess, Mazzomo, Blacklock, Schultz, Tazikas, and Wilkins makes up the top 10. But we know how strong the draft's going to be down this long back straight towards turn 17. Watch for the late race dive bombs down here. It's going to be a similar scenario to what we saw at Coda a few weeks ago, where drivers may be trying to overextend themselves a little bit as we see moves in the background there. That's Miles Burgess going for a move on Ellie Gardner. Gets it done up the inside for Burgess, and now he's there to play rear gunner to his teammate and championship leader, Ryan Bettis, as Muir's having some blinking issues in P2. Oh, this is a worry for some of them as Burgess is defending hard to Gardner down towards turn 1 as we begin lap 2 here in Miami.
Oh, that is a big bit of defense there from Burgess. It has not helped. Gardner has gotten back past Burgess there, so has displaced Burgess now. So Burgess had to fight a bit longer for that to happen. But just in the background there, Sam Blacklock looking for a move on Simon Mazzono as well. So we have moves and battles happening up and down this grid as it goes on. Look at Burgess now down for a move on the inside of Gardner. We'll be on the outside for the next turn. A lot of switching, but this has brought in Mazzono.
Oh, contact with Gardner! Oh, his daughter out the way, and I think he was waiting to redress the position. But I think because of the amount of positions lost, this may still be a drive-through for him. But we'll have to see what race control say. We can't call it before the race control have obviously reported upon it. But that's a real heartbreak there for Ellie Gardner, and I think Miles knows that he took a little bit too much real estate on that move, and he may just be trying to redress position there as Blacklock has finally gotten past Mazzomo into P4, and it's now left Ryan Bettis to try and battle with Muir and Harris on his own with no teammates backing him up, although Shepherd is on the move and up to P8, already up 9 positions in this race from that rear of grid start. It appears that it hasn't affected him too badly.
Yeah, Shepherd looks like, oh jeez, this one going up at the top, and it looks like we have one around. That's Jack Wilkins, unfortunately getting around at the tight section there. So unfortunately he's had a bit of a whoops. But yeah, look, Dylan Shepherd keeping it clean right now, up 9 positions, up to P8. What a race for Dylan Shepherd. This is he's looking forward to just trying to get further and further up the grid. As it stands, it looks as though Miles Burgess has also given that place back to Ellie Gardner as well. So Ellie Gardner, of course, is now back up, well, in front of Burgess, I should say, but not back up where she wants to be, unfortunately, with that start. But looks like she's making some moves now up on it with Jamie Fleming, who has just also been displaced by Miles Burgess, and now the next target on the road is Connor Nixon in the O2.
And good race thus far from Connor Nixon. I'd be excited to see what Connor could do if he could put a full season together here in the VRS Porsche Cup Series. I think he could definitely be a challenger for a championship in and amongst this field. He's a very talented driver, of course, based over in Perth. And, for those that don't know Connor's story, of course, he is a man who is he's a wheelchair user and uses hand controls while he goes racing, as well as pedals too. He does have the use of his legs, but he's got some chronic tiredness and stuff like that. So he's someone who's a very hard worker when he goes racing. A lot of people are very opinionated about Connor when he goes racing as well. What I can say is that he's a lovely person off track. On track, I will admit, and he admits this himself as well. He is a very aggressive man, and he does rub people the wrong way sometimes when he goes racing, but ultimately he's a very talented driver. I would love to see him do well in this series, because I think he's a talented enough driver that he can attack people on track, and he can race nice and clean, and he has had some success previously.
Looks like Healy Gardner's also going to push to the side. I was going to say, you're not a racing driver if you don't rub someone the wrong way at least once in your motorsport career. You've got to at least do it once, because then you're not a proper racing driver. But shout out to Connor Nixon. I mean, he's really good, going well there. I had no idea he was actually a man in a wheelchair. Like, that's really cool to see from him. But looking back up and down the field now, Shepard now up to 7th. Looking for a move on Craig Schultz. I'm hoping to see Nixon back for a full season. I mean, I think if he can really battle it out, Craig Schultz in the wall there, dropping another one to Alex Tzikis. But yeah, look, if I can see Connor Nixon out into a full season, I want to see what he can do in a Porsche if he goes full tilt for this championship. As we're back up the top here, Daniel Harris now trying to fight off his rival Ryan Bettis, as they are looking to slowly skip away from Sam Muir. And I can see now that Blacklock, Mazzono, Shepard, Tzikis, Schultz, Dodds, Burgess, and Nixon are right in behind there, but the field's now spread out just a little bit more. And Blacklock will be looking for some moves up ahead, as Harris now is going to have to fight to stay in the lead. With what are we now? So, we're only a few minutes down on this one. We're not even past the 10-minute mark yet, so we've still got a long way to go.
That's right, and of course, at this point of the race, drivers will know that they need a pit stop at this point. They haven't yet gotten the safety car that they would need to try and save enough fuel to risk the no-stop strategy, although Bettis is right up behind Harris right now and putting all sorts of pressure on him. So they know that they'll need to come into pit lane at some stage, but ultimately, it's about sound strategy tonight. It's about have you planned your strategy correctly for both races, knowing how much fuel you're going to need, and I think ultimately you've got to go as long as possible, because if there is the chance of a safety car, well, then there is that chance of a no-stop strategy, and if you've already taken a pit stop, you are going to put a nail in your coffin as soon as that Ford Mustang heads out on circuit, and no one else needs to come in. So we can see that Harris is trying to cover the inside. He gets 2 defensive moves down the straight, uses one of them to cover the inside line. Bettis trying to go for the outside here, wants to switch back, but smartly Harris parks it on the apex, doesn't give Bettis a run through. If Bettis is going to get this spot, Harris is going to make him earn it.
Yeah, certainly will. I think Harris has now learned. He knows how to be a tough racer, knows how to block and defend. And look at Bettis now trying to just show the nose a bit, trying to get Harris off his game. If he can get Harris to make one little mistake, he's through. But Harris is a little bit too small for that one right there. So you can see now at the back, all this battling, if they keep this battle up, it's going to bring in Samuel once again. It's going to be back to a 3-way fight for the lead. But Samuel's just a little bit too far back.
He is, and don't turn your nose up at Samuel either. To anyone out there who hasn't seen what he's previously done in this series, he is a 2-time defending champion. He's a back-to-back champion as well. He won Season 2 and Season 3 of the VRS Porsche Cup Series. Season 2, he won it against one of the toughest fields we've ever seen, with including drivers such as Corey Lazarus and Job Stewart, as well as some of our other faster drivers too, who've been in and amongst this field now for quite a few seasons. He's a very seasoned driver, very talented as well, and there's a reason why he is a 2-time champion, and he's going to be someone that will patiently wait this out if he can, as Harris runs wide down at turn 6. That allows Bettis through. Sorry, that was turn 11, my mistake. there's so many corners around here, you forget to realise sometimes, Brandon, that there's actually more corners than you think because of all the little kinks. But Bettis now into the race lead. Harris sits into P2, Muir in P3. And Harris is going to have to find his own way around Bettis if he wants to beat him on the road in race 1. 300 points available to you if you can get 2 race wins here tonight. There'll be 20 points extra on offer next week since we'll be racing the 40-minute points tally. So it means that for a race win, a single race win next week, it'll be worth 160 points compared to 150 this evening for that single race win as well. So there'll be points on offer on the board for the next 2 weeks as Harris goes for it down the inside at turn 17. Can he get the run on the inside of Bettis here? Bettis on the outside. Wants to try and hang as much speed as he can on Harris here. Gives him plenty of space to the inside of the next corner. Harris couldn't quite get the drive off as Bettis covers right to the inside of the wall now down towards turn 1. And watches Harris here is going to try and pull off a similar move to what Gardner did earlier in the race on Burgess, but couldn't quite get the run through as he's trying to assault the rear end of Bettis' car. With Muir lurking in the background though, he'll be keeping one eye open on that mirror and one eye ahead of him of where he can get this move done on Ryan Bettis for P1 in this race.
Yeah, look at Harris now really pushing, weaving left and right, trying to get Bettis to look in his mirrors, make that small mistake. But Bettis thinks Bettis is a little too smart up for that one. You can see Harris now really pushing, but look who's brought in. It's not just brought in Sam Muir, it's brought in Blacklock as well. So the two Sams have now caught up into this battle now. So this two-way battle for the fight has now turned into a four-way battle for the lead. So here we go now down this long straightaway here, this little sweeping long back straight here up towards the tight section of the track. Look at the moves up the inside here. Daniel Harris looking for a position. Doesn't seem to get it just yet, but look at how close this is becoming now. This is becoming absolutely close for the lead. Only 11 minutes into a 30-minute race. How close do you want it? Look at them go.
Oh, 30 minutes of racing. This is what it can bring, and this is the sort of pressure it can bring as well. And for Bettis, he's trying to hang on for his dear life, but with Daniel Harris right on his heels and Muir and Blacklock back there, there's a couple of little Sam vacuums ready to pick up the crumbs if either of them drop any on the floor. And for Harris now, he's got up the inside towards 17. He'll sneak on through back to the race lead. Bettis smartly gives it to him because he knows the harder that they battle, the more likely they're going to drop more positions. So it's better for him just to let Harris through at this stage and try and attack him at a later portion, especially with Blacklock and Muir lurking and Mazzomo and Dylan Shepherd beginning to chase them down as well.
Oh, look at the battling back and forth, and that's the problem with wanting to battle. I mean, yeah, it's good fun, it's challenging, and that's what you want in racing. You want a good battle with someone else on the road. But the thing is, it brings in anyone else behind them, and that is exactly what it's done. Muir and Blacklock have slowly closed in on this battle now, and now look there. Now that Blacklock's attacking Sam, now that Blacklock's attacking Muir, it's opened up the gap just that little bit. I think everyone's going to try and work together to make their way back up towards the front of the field here. See just how close some of these battles are, and we'll see if anything comes of this one. We'll see if everyone's maybe just calmed down a bit. Looking back here at Miles Burgess now, who has passed Harry Dodds, followed closely by Nixon and Gardner. And Harry Dodds looking for a move on the outside around the sweeping corners here down to the braking zone. And we'll see if he can make that move stick. Still side by side. And look at Nixon. Nixon says, thank you. You guys battle on. I'll take myself a free position forward.
Yeah, 15-point penalty's been handed... oh, wrong time. 15-point penalty's been handed out there to Miles Burgess for contact with Gardner. We saw it earlier in the race. So I believe Race Control have noted the redress that he made for Gardner. So that's, you know, he's managed to get away with that, which is good to see. They obviously thought there was a little bit less in it that may have caused a drive-through penalty if it were to come, as Luke Crumbs had a moment in the background as well. We'll look at that in a second here. Harry Dodds, though, has also been handed out a 10-point penalty now for contact with Blacklock earlier in the race as well. So both those drivers have been sentenced by Race Control to have some points penalties next to their name before the end of this race. Daniel Harris leads at this stage, though. Ryan Bettis P2. Blacklock, Muir and Mazzomo make up the top 5 as the pressure continues to rise as we approach halfway through this race. This is what happened to Luke Crum only a few laps to go. This is down through the bridge section of this circuit. Hop the curb and then into the tightening turn 16. He just lost the rear end and just kissed the wall on the way through as well. Not the way that... Oh, that was a very, very close rejoin to Gary Watson, but luckily for Crummy, he got it spun around quickly and continues on forward.
Yeah, thankfully not making any more contact with Watson, but unfortunately had made a little bit of contact with the wall as he rejoined. Looks back now to the battle at the front here. Ryan Bettis looking for a move on Daniel Harrison. Look how close he is. He's going for a move around the outside, going to try and sweep it around the outside. Boss that camera shot there. And is going to see if he can make this one stick into 10 and 11. And it looks as though he's done it. No, maybe not. Maybe not. Harris hanging on tough. Side by side. Someone's going to have to give it up. This is only a one-way. Only one at a time. Look at Snake. Look at Blacklock.
I know.
Blacklock's coming to this one. Come on. This is... Oh! A little close there now. Harris has to choose... Oh, sorry. Bettis now has to choose who does he want to get this one from. Who does he want to defend it from? Look at the slipstream chain here. Oh, look at Blacklock. He's picking. He's picking. He's trying to choose. Which one do I want?
And he's trying to figure out what one he wants here. He has finally gotten past Sam Muir, by the way, as well. As Bettis hangs on to the inside here. Harris wants the outside through 17, but he's forced tight and nearly makes contact with Blacklock through there. That's going to allow Blacklock into P2. But Harris is going to try and fight this through the final corner. He'll get the inside run at turn 1. As you can see, Bettis trying to cover that inside line in case of a dive bomb. And as Harris comes through, he holds on to P2. But Bettis has run wide. Bettis ran wide at turn 1. That allows Daniel Harris to come through. And look who's lurking in the background. Mazzomo and Shepard are right up onto this as it's a top 6 battle for the race lead at the halfway point of this one with 14 minutes to go. With Bettis up the inside of Harris now. It continues on. And this is fantastic racing. Absolutely great to see. And it's anyone's game at this point, but we're waiting, Brandon. We're waiting because you feel like they're going to try and pull 1 millimetre too short. And we may see some contact happening soon, but it's fantastic for the moment.
Oh, this is some fantastic stuff happening here. Lead changes, the battles. It's brought in Shepard and Mazzono as well now. As you take a look at Harris now looking for a move up around Ryan Bettis, but look at it on the inside there. Look at that. Blacklock shoots into the lead. And now, oh, he's made a mistake. He's made a mistake. He's going to drop behind Shepard. And Harris has gone past Bettis once again. And look at that. Look at that. Shepard started 18th, 17th, whatever it was. He's now up to P3. Look at that. And look at that. Bettis. Oh, contact. Contact. Look at Bettis. Sorry, look at Shepard now. Oh, this is going to be close. It's a drag race. Contact. More contact. How much do you want? Oh, this is too close.
It's all on. And for Harris, he's trying to fight here with Shepard, who's trying to block him down towards turn 17, but Harris has managed to get back past. Is he also going to get past Bettis into 17 as well? Can he get this job done? Inside line made. Harris into the race lead. But it's a 2-on-1 assault. Shepard's going to come into pit lane. So Dylan Shepard is in to try and get this first pit stop done. And this could be an undercut strategy here because whilst these guys are battling, they're going to waste time while Shepard is straight in. Harris is going to have to come in on the next lap here just to try and cover him if he can.
He's going to have to, and it looks like there was a bit of almost a bit of contact there into turn 1 there. It looks like Blacklock almost got into it with Bettis. So this is really, really close. The slipstream does help. Look at them jiggle across the road. This is like a real high-speed game of chess, high-speed game of chicken. You know, like which way do you want to go? Which way do you want to send it? Look at Blacklock now, round the outside. Going to go around for the outside of Harris, but Harris is going to go on the inside of Bettis. Look at... This is fantastic racing. You cannot get it any better than this. This is Porsche racing, race 1.
This is unbelievable. It's a 200-mile-an-hour game of chess they're playing around here. And the small moves and the small margins that they're playing with is unbelievable. Harris onto the inside line. Bettis hanging on that outside. Blacklock's waiting for a chance to get through. And now he finds it. He wants to make it 3 wide at turn 12. He tries to get past Bettis on the outside. Bettis is going to get dropped back into P3 as Blacklock now looks to challenge the leader, Daniel Harris. They're swapped and changed positions that many times. I've lost count. But ultimately, what we're seeing is fantastic racing and a great display of top-class racing. And you can see the drivers that are getting dragged into it. You've got the likes of Tazikas, Burgess, Nixon, Gardner, and Dodds lining up at the back end of this battle as well. It's unbelievable.
Oh, this is fantastic stuff to watch. I'm absolutely loving this. Blacklock now pulling out onto the inside now of Harris, making a move at the hairpin. Up to coming towards to complete another lap. No one is going to go. Never mind, I stand corrected. Bettis and Mazzono have decided to jump into the pit lane, get their pit stops out of the way, try and see if they can cover off Shepherd and get possibly some fresh tyres on as Blacklock now makes a move on the inside of Daniel Harris and will take the lead of this one. And Harris is not giving up this one. Oh my word. Hamish, I'm out of breath. This is fantastic stuff. And I don't even know. I mean, look, we've got 10 minutes left. And we still got another 30-minute race after this one.
We do.
And it's a reverse grid.
I know, we do. It's unbelievable. And the semi-final format, as I said previously, that grand final format as well, it's always brought about great racing. Obviously, this race style has been previously run at Belle Isle previously as well. And obviously now this format's being run at Miami this season. Next season will be at St. Petersburg for it. And then as well out to, obviously next week at Adelaide. Let's have a quick look here. We've had a question about the incident with Harry Dodds and Sam Blacklock. So I've just been trying to find it across these last few laps. Oh, I think that might be what it is right there, which was Dodds up the inside of Blacklock. And ultimately, I don't know if he was up alongside before turning or what, but yeah, that's a tough one, and I'm sure Race Control have had their reasons for that call. But it seems maybe that because Dodds has gone straight ahead and actually hasn't turned for the corner, they may have determined that he was at fault for that one in the contact there with Sam Blacklock on that previous attempt. But when will these front runners come in? I mean, for Harris, he's got to try and cover that undercut strategy now of Shepherd and Bettis. Shepherd's already made it past Bettis on his previous run through pit lane. He's right ahead of him now. So for Harris, he's either got to come in now and try and cover it, or he's got to hope that Blacklock comes in and he gets some clean air to push on for the next few laps. But right now, the way they're battling, it's not looking like that's the case, although Blacklock runs wide down at 17. Harris comes through to the race lead. And now will he come in? He will indeed. Blacklock will follow him. Muir will continue on. What about Burgess? He continues on. Nixon does as well, as does Gardner. So Sam Muir into the race lead, and now we've got to watch for when Daniel Harris exits pit lane and where he's going to exit in comparison to Dylan Shepherd and Ryan Bettis, although they're just coming past the main straight now. Remembering, pit exit comes right out onto the racing line at turn 2. Harris is exiting now. Mazzomo has jumped them. Blacklock has jumped him as well. And Harris is the ultimate loser out of all this. He's dropped down below Jack Wilkins, although he's going to try and hang ahead of him. But going that lap longer has really cost him with that battle with Blacklock. And it means that it's dropped him now well below Bettis and Shepherd here in race 1.
Yeah, unfortunately, Harris I think he, like you said, he went that lap or two too late over Shepherd. I would have come in the lap after that, but I think you get too involved with the battle, you get too involved wanting to stay out there and keep it going. You're in the lead, you want to keep going through, but of course the pit stop did need to come into play there. So just over 7 minutes left in this one.
Oh,
it was a spinner.
That's Miles Burgess. Miles Burgess has gone round down at turn 11. This is what's happened to him down there. I mean, this is a very tough section of track, tough corner as well under brakes. We've seen multiple drivers run a little bit wide down here. What's happened to Burgess on the end? Has he just carried too much speed? He has. He's done it all on his lonesome. Lucky not to collect Nixon and Gardner on the way through. But that is a heavy moment there for Miles Burgess at this point of the race.
Yeah, that's going to hurt a little bit for him as well. But we can see now that the drivers are now starting to make their way up and towards towards Sam Muir now is going to take command of this race.
I like this thought from Sam. He's not coming in. He's not reacting and coming into pit lane. He's pushing on because he's trying to do fast laps to actually build that gap back to Shepherd and Bettis. This is the only way he's ever going to be able to counteract that undercut here, by going as long as possible and by trying to run as fast as possible. This is what Muir has to do. Shepherd has just done a slightly slower lap than him on that last lap time by a 56.23, but Bettis was faster with a 55.67. So for Muir, he's trying to run this out to build some gap, but he's going to start running out of laps very, very shortly.
Yeah, certainly will. 6 minutes left to go in this one. So it looks like Muir and Gardner are the only two out there that I can see that haven't done a stop so far in this one. But look at this now. Look at Bettis now. He's slowly catching up to the back of Shepherd, and might want to try and... I think Shepherd might want to start looking a little bit in the mirror and try and see if he can sort of stay away from that one. But you can see now, as he's slowly closing in, I think we might be getting a battle 2.0 here for Miami here today with just over 5 to go.
5 laps left here at the Miami Autodrome, or 5 minutes left here in race 1 of Miami Autodrome, of course. A couple of laps at least, probably 3 laps left to go, although it might only be 2 actually with how far they are around the circuit at this point. If they make the start-finish line by the 24-minute mark or 26-minute mark, that will be that'll be 3 laps to go because they're running less than 2-minute lap times. So we should see at the very least 3 laps left. We may get a 4th. Oh no, we won't get a 4th. It's not enough time for 4th. So I think we're going to see 3 laps to the end here, Brandon. But yeah, we've got that little bit of spread now after the pit stops. But as we said at the start of the night, we were either going to get multiple safety cars in this race or we were going to get none. And from what we've seen, we've had none thus far, as Muir and Gardner are finally in the pit lane for their stop in this race, which should see Dylan Shepherd come past to take the race lead after starting at the rear of the grid here tonight in what has been a fantastic drive from Dylan Shepherd here this evening. He leads his teammate Ryan Bettis across the line to start lap 14 at the 25 and 3/4 minute marker as well. Blacklock P3 at this stage. Mazzomo and Muir make up the top 5. Harris has actually lost out to Muir on that run, so he's all the way back in P6. He's going to have points to try and gain in race 2, and he will be starting at least a little bit further ahead than Shepherd and Bettis in the next race as well. But yeah, he's got to try and maximise the points in the next run and hope that both these guys can maybe drop a few in race 2.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough one to ask for race 2 when we go 30-minute racing once again. Oh, Bettis giving the wall a bit of a tap there, leaving a signature. But yeah, I think we're in for a really great reverse grid race for race 2 once this one drops. And Shepherd now looking to try and build that gap. I don't know if he's going to let Bettis through. Like you said, they are teammates. But I don't know if he's going to want to let this one through. I think this will be a brilliant drive from Shepherd if he holds on to this one and takes
I
the
think
lead.
he's...
lost the first.
Yeah, I think he's earned it, honestly. I mean, he's earned this race win tonight, as says Dylan Shepherd. I mean, you know, he was obviously... there's obviously some levels of upset from what happened last week, of course, through his penalty process and stuff like that. But he's seriously turned it on tonight, and he's completely earned this race win out there. Has driven spectacularly on the road tonight, as has Bettis. And it must be said, hats off to all of those drivers within that sort of top 6 battle that we saw happening prior to the pit stops occurring. That is one of the best battles we've ever seen in this car. And not even just in this car, like the 992.2, in the Porsche Cup in general in the series. That was one of the greatest pieces of driving I've ever seen out of any field of drivers we've ever had. And all those drivers should be proud of the fact that they were able to play such a high-speed game of chess together at such tight margins, and none of them became unglued together. They managed to hold on to it the whole way. It was spectacular racing, Brandon. And ultimately, if you ever wanted to show someone how good Porsche Cup racing can be in terms of on-track battling, that's the battle you may want to show them, because that was absolutely amazing.
I think if you were to rank, like, you know, top 10, I think if we ever saw one of those iRacing top 10 videos on YouTube later in the week, I hope someone's clipped that racing, because that was some brilliant stuff. That has to get featured, because that was absolutely amazing to watch. But we take a look now at Dylan Shepherd now with just under 2 minutes to go in this one. And Ryan Bettis now will be looking for some slipstream to get past Shepherd, but I think Shepherd might want to keep this one for himself. As you said, Hamish, he's earned this one. I think he wants to keep it. Lost the first challenge inadvertently, of course, with the penalty that was applied to him that he had to start at the rear of the grid for what happened in Daytona last week. As you see some more battles happening up and down the grid.
He's taken it in his stride ultimately, and he's shown up tonight. He's gone racing, and he's driven incredibly well, which has been great to see from Dylan out there this evening. I mean, he's a really, really top level driver, and yeah, I mean, and how good Ryan has been this season. Dylan has probably been one of the talks of the last half of the season, and how much he's bringing the fight to Ryan, his own teammate, for this championship. He's not going to let him have it for free. But we're going to get 1 lap to go here, so we're going to go to 16 laps here in race 1 with no safety cars here for the first race of the evening. Will we see that Ford Mustang in race 2? Time will tell, as Harris is continuing to battle back here with Mazzomo for position. Gets up to P5. Mazzomo's having to come into pit lane. So Mazzomo in a very weird moment of why he'd need to come in. I'm unsure, unless he's copped some damage off that wall. But for Harris, he's found himself now P5 on the tail of Blacklock, trying to chase down Sam Muir as well. But for Dylan Shepherd and Ryan Bettis, there looks to be another set of points gained over the challenger from Echelon Esports in Daniel Harris back in P5 here for race 1.
If they've got any personal spotters in their areas at the moment,
oh, they would.
Probably
they would.
One of them is Ryan. I wonder if there's talks with the Ryans to say, listen, just hang back. Harris is, well, he's now up to 4th. He's gone past Sam Blacklock. I was going to say, I thought Ryan's spotter might be in his ear trying to tell him, okay, come on, you're ahead of Harris. That's all that matters. But I think Shepherd is not wanting to give this one up. But you can see now, so now our top 5 is Shepherd, Bettis, Muir, Harris, Blacklock is the top 5 at the moment. And you can see now Ryan Bettis looking for some moves on Shepherd around this around the loop.
I think Sam Blacklock's out of fuel. Sam Blacklock underfueled this car, not anticipating the extra lap. I don't think he can make it home. Yeah, he's out. Blacklock's out of fuel.
Oh, no.
He underfueled the car to try and jump Harris in pit lane, and he didn't anticipate the extra lap. So as we come down the back straight towards turn 17, it's been a great run tonight for OPR and for Dylan Shepherd here in race 1. Ryan Bettis trying to go round. He's outside at 17. He won't try and push him too tight, though. Shepherd will come through in a great race from last to first in an all-time effort for Dylan Shepherd. Rear of grid, he laughs at it because he takes home a race win in race 1 here in the Miami Autodrome semi-final for Season 4. Bettis in P2. Muir comes home in P3. Daniel Harris will make up the top 4, with Connor Nixon coming home in P5 after starting at the rear of the grid as well. Gardner to Burgess, and Harry Dodds is going to win the Silver Class race to the line for race number 1 to Alex Tzikis, with Jack Wilkins now trying to get past. Was Mazzomo pushing Blacklock then? Was he pushing Blacklock? Because he's not supposed to be. Cars have to make it back under their own power. He will cross the line, though, under his own power, as Schultz will come past. Todd Suter will win for the bronze class here this evening into P14. But Dylan Shepherd, points gained, and he's once again P2 in the championship, leading into race 2 this evening.
Oh, what a win for Shepherd. Lost to first. Couldn't have asked for it any better than that. Well done to Dylan Shepherd. Congratulations to him as we see more of the drivers coming past the line. Jamie Fleming and Gary Watson. Just waiting for Joel Hansen, and unfortunately our last Luke Crum in the bronze class. Unfortunately had a bit of a moment in this one, but has come across the line, to take a finish, take some points with him as well. So congratulations to Luke Crum on finishing that one. But yeah, what a race to kick off our night. We still have one more 30-minute race to go. Do not go anywhere. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so am I. 30 minutes to come your way. 5-minute warm-up now for these drivers here on the road as well, and it's our opportunity to give thanks to VRS Virtual Racing School, which have been partners with the Porsche Cup Series for the last 12 months here in the iRacing World Challenge as well. And by giving thanks to them, we want to welcome them to get a little ad roll going for the midway portion of the evening here tonight for our semi-final round at Miami. Incredible racing through race 1. I'm sure there's more to come when the top 15 cars are inverted for race 2 in the next 30-minute race here in Miami Autodrome. Don't go anywhere. We've got the ad roll to come, and they'll be back momentarily for race 2 of the semi-final, where points are on the line and drivers are going to maximise before we head out to our grand final next week at Adelaide. Who's going to get there and who is going to be challenging for the championship? Only time will tell. But we'll be back very shortly here with more Porsche Cup Series action from Miami.
These are the VRS Dark Force Pro pedals. So it's a high-end product, stainless steel construction with an industrial aesthetic. Very, very adjustable. All 3 pedals, the pedal faces in terms of height, depth, angle are fully adjustable, and overall pedal angle is also adjustable. Now, if we look at the throttle pedal first, we have quite a unique design here. So we have a rodless spring, which doesn't quite look right to the eye, but functionally performs extremely well. Absolutely no friction whatsoever, so really nice smooth response. And we have a lot of adjustability here in terms of initial starting force, preload, and also overall force and pedal travel. So if we move on to the brake, we have similar levels of adjustability, a very high-end, heavy-duty construction. We have the blue spring on here at the moment, which tolerates a 65 kilogram maximum force. Also supplied is the optional red spring, which doubles that to 130 kilograms. These are linear springs, which is not normally how a real-life brake pedal feels. So we have this very clever mechanism on the back here, which basically turns that into a progressive, more realistic feeling, which gives you quite a decent bit of travel for low-level trail braking, and then more of a ramp up when you're really braking much harder. And we have this tie rod at the top, which is fully adjustable, along with preload, so you can really fine-tune that exact force shape to your preference. On the clutch, we have a similar level of adjustability in terms of pedal face and also the shape of the curve. So we try to emulate a clutch plate, which is stiff initially and then flattens out as the clutch gives way. So that's emulated here with a small amount of adjustability, including overall travel as well. So we're very happy with this product, and we hope you are too.
Welcome back into the iRacing World Challenge and the VRS Porsche Cup Series, live here on Infinity Broadcasting. If you're joining us for the first time, or you've been here for a little while here tonight, well, first of all, we want to say, click the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the channel, as the VRS safety car is out there at the moment trying to get some laps in, although there was a little bit of an unsafety car move when he hit the wall. But if you're just joining us here this evening and you missed race 1, well, I urge you to go back post race 2 and check it out. It was some of the best racing we've ever seen in terms of an on-track battle between the top 6 cars in the race. And it was ultimately one of the best battles, as I said, that we've seen. And it led to Dylan Shepherd being able to take home a fantastic race win from rear of grid to the top of the totem pole. Last week we mentioned a moment that happened at the end of the race where Ellie Gardner just missed out on position to Alex Tzikis. And we mentioned that, you know, it was such a tight finish. It was literally right on the line. And for those that missed it, this is in fact how close it was. This image was brought to us by Alex himself. He took the photo for us. That is how close it was. It literally was a Lightning McQueen moment on the start-finish line. Tzikis only just got there by barely a foot and a half over Ellie Gardner. It's crazy how close that finish was at Daytona. But that's ultimately what the Daytona road course can bring us, is these nice close finishes right on the start-finish line. But yeah, Brandon, what a finish it was last week for Gardner and for Tzikis, but also for all those other drivers out there that tried to maximise on points before the final 2 rounds of the season.
Yeah, it was an absolutely amazing finish there. You know, we thought we had it wrapped up. We thought that, you know, they were going to finish in where they did, and then Tzikis pulls out this amazing move. So anyone watching this, I encourage you, if you missed last week's coverage, go back and take a look at this. This was an epic epic race with an epic finish, and what a way to end the night of racing. Warm-up is now done, and we look forward to setting the grid now for race 2, which will be also 30 minutes, and it is a reverse grid of our results from race number 1.
Yep, top 15 have been restacked and re-racked and fully inverted. So Jamie Fleming will start pole position here for race 2 this evening, with Todd Suter on the front row. Sam Blacklock, Craig Schultz starting behind them, with Simon Mazzomo and Jack Wilkins for the top 6 cars. Alex Tzikis and Harry Dodds will make up the top 8, with Miles Burgess making up the top 10 alongside Ellie Gardner back there in P10 on the road. Connor Nixon, Daniel Harris, they'll make up our top 12 on the starting grid tonight, with Sam Muir, Ryan Bettis starting ahead of Dylan Shepherd, our race winner from the previous event of race 1. And the 3 drivers who missed out on the inversion, Gary Watson, Jolyn Hanson and Luke Crum, will start from the back end of the field for race 2 here this evening. It's maximum pressure once again at the Miami Autodrome. And for Jamie Fleming, well, it's pressure that he's felt before starting in a reverse grid race in P1 position. Todd Suter's started up the front before as well, but ultimately we've got to keep an eye on Sam Blacklock, who is a master of these reverse grid race restarts when he's able to start up the front. He's going to be tough to beat tonight in race 2 as the 5 lights will go up and the palm trees will scream with the echoed sounds of Porsche Cup racing once again in Miami. Race 2 underway for the semi-final. And it's a good start here for Jamie Fleming. Couple of moves already being made in the background. Dylan Shepherd's trying to go early here as Ryan Bettis is off the road at turn 1. Gary Watson's off as well. It's already blown up down there. Was there contact with Shepherd or Harris into turn 1 tonight? But ultimately it's put Bettis right at the back of the field. And if you're Shepherd or Harris, you've got to maximise your points now as Gardner and Schultz have gone off ahead of them. A big moment here. And it's all gone off in the second race of the semi-final.
This reverse grid race has thrown up everything now. Blacklock leads from Fleming, Suter, Mazzono, Dodds, top 5. But what happened there at the start? Hamish, I think I'm going to get us a replay here. Here we go. Take a look at the start now. Looking out to see what happened to Ryan Bettis. We'll go for the 113.
So
Way
Ryan,
on the outside.
Yeah, Ryan's all the way on the outside. Oh, Gary Watson completely missed his braking zone and just rocketed straight into the side of Muir and Bettis down there. Bettis an innocent party in that one. That's a real shame for him. And then this is the moment with Gardner and Schultz down towards the next corner. That's how this has happened. So Schultz just there. Gardner taking a little bit too many liberties into the corner. And that's allowed multiple drivers past and ultimately put Schultz into the wall. And then Dylan Shepherd's had a moment too, as he was battling with the likes of Nixon and Harris. Harris on his inside. Wilkins comes across the nose. Harris nowhere to go. And around goes Dylan Shepherd down at the exit of, I believe that there is turn 4 or turn 5, something like that. So that's an early moment in this race that has put both the OPR cars in the championship contention straight to the back of the field. But for Blacklock, he leads the race. Mazzomo, Fleming, Suter, Burgess the top 5. Then Dodds, Tzikis, Wilkins and Harris and Nixon make up our top 10 in what's been a wild start already to race 2.
Yeah, absolutely wild. Cannot predict that one. But of course, that's the nature of reverse grid races. It does throw up a bit of a cat amongst the pigeons, if you will. But look at Harris now. He's now probably just been told that, hey, his 2 main rivals have gone to the back. This is a chance for him to get up to the front, get a good haul of points to walk away from Miami with, and then walk into Adelaide with it as well, hoping to get himself a little bit closer to the championship fight. But man, this is really throwing the grid up and down.
And just to confirm as well, Brandon, black flag drive-through penalty for Gary Watson for the contact at turn 1 with Ryan Bettis and Sam Muir. So he's just traversed through the lane just then to serve that penalty the last time by. So he's already been through pit lane and served that. He's quite a few seconds down now on Dylan Shepherd in P17, but Gary's still rolling, and we'll see if a safety car can maybe bring him back into it. As Harry Dodds has gone round at turn 10 and is now dropping bulk positions down here. What has happened to the Project 36 driver? At the beginning of the bridge section down here at Miami, he tries to go down the inside, and then contact's made. Round he goes. There's not much more he could really do there at that point in time. It was Just some unfortunate contact, which Jolyn Hansen's dropping positions now as well. He's also dropping pace. So something's happening around here in this race. Must be something in the water. Maybe it's the fake marina that's around here, Brandon, that's causing these drivers just to get a little bit unglued.
Yeah, you always say there's something in the water for some of the drivers when they've got talent, but unfortunately there's something in the fake marina here at Miami that's causing drivers to have a bit of a bad luck here in race 2. Now, 4 minutes down, Sam Blacklock leads, Simon Mazzono second, Miles Burgess in third. That's the best of our gold.
Oh,
Todd
Suter.
What was that?
Todd Suter just had a massive steering failure and then blinked out of existence. He's just had a massive steering failure down there, and that car has blinked out. That was huge. Something's happened to Todd Suter, and we can't even see where his car is at this point. I think we actually have to go back here just to try and get a visual of what may have happened. So he's come round. Oh my God, he had a massive snap. So, and then it's straight in the wall, and then he's disappeared. So that is a huge one. That car's parked up. This will be a safety car for sure. This will for sure be a safety car.
I wonder if that's maybe not a hardware failure, because that snapped to the left rather quickly.
Well, that's what a steering failure would do, though. It automatically steers to the left, straight in the wall, and that would explain the blink out, because now within iRacing, when someone has a steering failure, it doesn't just hang them left, it'll actually blink them out of existence so they don't make contact with anyone. I believe the safety car has been called, because that car's parked up, but regardless if it was or not, because it was a big snap, Brandon, through that final corner, but yeah, that car was... everyone else is incredibly lucky that they were not caught up in that, because that was a huge moment and they didn't even know where he was.
Yeah, that was absolutely massive. You know, when the driver blinks out, you don't know where they're going to reappear in front of you, even if it doesn't have a steering snap like what Suter had. And of course, my iRacing history, I've had drivers blink out in front of me every now and then. It does put you off, but yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out now as Blacklock comes into the lane. We'll see if anyone else takes advantage of this safety car. Here we go. There's Mazzono. There's Burgess. Right on cue. The first one not to do it is Jamie Fleming, who is going to carry on. And you can see there the stricken car of Todd Suter, unfortunately having that moment. Daniel Harris has gone
Shepherd straight in. Bettis has come in as well. Hansen has continued on. So he believes he can fuel save this car to the end of the race. I tell you what, right? So I questioned, would it be worth Harris coming in and not risking having to fuel save this car to the end? But would he have if he had come in? Would Bettis and Shepherd have come in? I don't know if they would have. I know that Harris can fuel save this car though to the end on a single safety car race, and ultimately, if we get another safety car, he'll be guaranteed to get to the end. So for those guys to have pit, they've locked themselves in now. You know, they can definitely make it to the end on fuel. They don't need to pit again. For Harris, he's going to try and fuel save this thing to an absolute maximum to make it to the end. Now, Mjorn made it as far as 25 minutes on the last race. We are going to cut out a huge chunk of laps now because of the fact that it's such a long lap around here underneath the safety car. We are doing 80 kilometers per hour behind the pace car at this point. Because it is such a long lap, Brandon, we're more likely to actually lose laps under the safety car here because of how long it can take us. But this is also the best opportunity to get a single lap safety car, because we've only had one car who's gone a lap down and he can't get a wave around because he's caused the safety car. So we may see the safety car come in at the end of this lap, and for Harris, he's just hoping the time gets bled off as quickly as possible.
Yeah, he's hoping for that one as well. I mean, look how far up he is now compared to the other gold class competitors, if you will, Muir, Blacklock, Mazzono. But we'll keep an eye on where Bettis and Shepherd are as well. So you're right. Look, long lap around here. We'll see if the safety car decides to end, or if race control want to end the safety car rather early. But yeah, look, I mean, we'll see what Harris can do here now. He's right in front of Alex Zizikas, who we know is a tough racer. Jamie Fleming as well in front of him. So they're not going to make it easy for him. But of course, Harris, like you say, he can fuel save. Can he save those tires as well? Is he going to pull out his inner George Russell and be a tire whisperer for the last 22 minutes of this one, and see if he can make his way up to the up to first and try and stay there and potentially bag home a good haul of points for this one.
So lights out on the safety car. It pulls away now down the back straight, so it is a single lap safety car period. The best thing that Harris can do now, so there's a few things here, right? So get past Jamie Fleming as quick as possible. Keep as many cars between you and other gold class drivers, and then run away. Build as much gap as you can. For Harris, he's got to run as long as possible for as fast as possible, knowing that Bettis and Shepherd are further back in the field tonight. He obviously needs to try and fuel save this car as well to get it home, but he doesn't want to muck around and try and hold the gaps too tightly, because if he does need to pit, he'll probably need at minimum, I would say, 20 seconds gap back to them both, maybe even a little bit more. So for Harris, he's got to try and get this car in a P1 as soon as possible, and then run some quick laps as fast as possible to keep this car in the race lead. Jamie Fleming, though, goes green flag off the restart. How quickly can Daniel Harris get this car into pole or into P1, or can Jamie Fleming hold him off? Watch Alex Tzikis. We've seen how good he can be at the top end of town as well. Jolan Hansen into pit lane now at the end of the safety car period as Harris goes for it at turn 1 on Fleming. Plenty of room given here through turn 2 and 3, and Harris through to the race lead. He did it exactly when he needed to, nice and early in the lap, and now he can try and push on, build some gap, save some fuel, and hopefully for his sake get this car home in a zero-stop race for his second race win of the season.
Yeah, good job for Harris there, getting past as early as he did. Look at this, Shepherd now on with Dodds as well, so it's gold versus silver. Look at that bit of dual panel rubbing as well. And look at Ellie Gardner now up on the inside, now going to try and make her move past Doddsy as well. And you can just see how Gardner now foot flat to the floor, going to look for that little bit extra little slipstream there from the car of Dylan Shepherd, who is our race 1 winner. And you can see now the drag race still going on between Gardner and Dodds. And see if she can make her way down to turn 10 and 11. Down at the back there. A few more drivers coming through shot here. Ellie Gardner now through on Harry. Makes it work. He gets through. Oh, sorry, she gets through. And will look her way forward towards Dylan Shepherd now. And you can just see them coming through this little flip-flop section here. Up on 2 wheels. Beautiful stuff here. Dylan Shepherd now looking for a move past Luke Crum, who is our bronze driver at the moment. Doesn't really... Oh, there you go. He's going to pull out there. Going to go for a move up the inside. Dylan Shepherd, we know, is quick. Look at the battle pack up ahead. But look who's ahead of Shepherd as well as Ryan Bettis now is going to try and make his way up as well. Alex Tzikis now has made his way past Jack Wilkins and Jamie Fleming now up to second. Alex Tzikis wants to make a few more moves, get some more points for the silver class battle that he is in. Look at Fleming now, up for another move on Wilkins. Not going to make it stick, but look who's behind them. Sam Muir, Sam Blacklock, Simon Mazzono. See what they can do for this one. See if they can make their way past and try and get up towards Harris. Oh, Ellie Gardner has gone around into the wall at exit 1. Let's see here. In a bit of a battle with Harry. Now, was he involved?
No, it was the pogo stick. Yep. Pogo sticking over the curb, and that car has gone straight in the wall for Ellie Gardner. There's a meatball on it as well, and it's parked up right at pit exit. Could argue it's good enough for another safety car, but we'll see if race control determine it. So if it is, Harris will be guaranteed to make it home. It won't matter. He'll be able to save enough fuel to get this car home if they determine it is good enough for a safety car. And it is good enough for a safety car as Jordan Ferguson is hopped back in that machine and is driving out of pit lane. So for the second time tonight, we've got a safety car period on circuit. We've had 2 in 1 race now. And what it will mean is those that didn't pit are going to reap the rewards, because all of a sudden the top 5 can make it home on fuel. This is a huge moment in this race. It's big for Harris, obviously, but ultimately now it means he can now push and he can start to build up, which he was already doing over to Tzikis and Wilkins and Murin and everyone else. But this is a saving grace for Harris now to try and get this race win. He needs Bettis and Shepherd to be held back outside the top 10 for him to try and gain maximum points here this evening through race 2.
Yeah, he's going to be begging for this safety car to take a long time. Going to want to cross his thumbs and cross his fingers for hoping that this timer runs out quickly for the end of this one, because I'm sure he would love to see some good points coming to him as Jamie Fleming has come into the lane to take a pit stop.
Yes, I don't think Jamie's confident enough on the fuel save to get that car home. Harris will know he can get this home. Tzikis, Wilkins and Muir know as well. So that's then going to give a position. So Bettis and Shepherd are now into the top 10, by the way, just to give an update on those guys. They've got Nixon, Burgess, Mazomo, Blacklock and Muir ahead of them. Realistically, the only driver that may not make it so easy for them, or that may make it easy for them, is Miles Burgess. He's probably the only one that'll make it easy for either of them. Nixon's going to battle them hard. Blacklock's going to battle them hard. Muir will as well, as will Mazomo. So those guys are going to have a tough fight to get up to Harris. And Harris has got hungry drivers in behind him with Tzikis and Wilkins, who are battling for their own championship in the silver class, remember. Wilkins is P2 in that title race. Tzikis is P1. So those guys have got something to fight for towards the end of this race and towards the end of this season too. They've got every right to battle where they are up into P2 and P3, being that these drivers are scored on an overall scale from P1 down to last place. This is not going to be an easy run for Bettis and Shepherd to get up to Daniel Harris. And, well, what a difference the first half of this race has been tonight, Brandon, compared to race one earlier on. First 15 minutes of this one have been a couple of safety cars, a couple of incidents. Last race, it was all gas, no brakes, battle on every single lap.
Yeah, it certainly was. I think race one was certainly all gas, no brakes whatsoever. We had battles, 6-car battles, everything happening, and you know it just surprisingly did not bring out the safety car. But now, I think we have ourselves a safety car here, and I'm putting the blame solely on you, Hamish, because you said at the start of the night we were probably guaranteed a safety car here. I didn't say anything, it was all you, so I think we'll put this one on you, mate.
You know what's funny? Brandon? Commentator curses only exist when you believe in them, and I don't believe the commentator's curse exists. So...
I think you might just start believing in it now, mate.
Well, there's no Danhausen here tonight, so I don't feel cursed. It's okay. So...
Not fair enough. But I think I might set him on you to try and curse you for this one. What a epic night of racing we've had so far. We're now halfway through the 30-minute race here for the night. Lap 7, of course, going to lap 8. We'll see if the safety car is.
It is. It's pulling away now, so lights are out on it. So we're going to go green flag once again. It's another very quick safety car period. The race control are all over it. And it makes it a lot easier on these longer circuits. It allows them to get the safety car period done within a single lap instead of having to go around 2 or 3 times. It takes them a similar amount of time to do so, by the way. So, you know, they're able to do it very, very quickly, of course, and get these moves made very, very quickly throughout the race as well, which is, you know, obviously fantastic to see for them. But for Daniel Harris, it's the race lead, and it's the opportunity to gain some crucial points on the championship leader, Ryan Bettis. Back under green flag once again, as Harris leads us on to lap 8 at the 17-minute marker of this race, with Tzikis, Wilkins in P2 and P3, Muir, Blacklock, Mazomo, Burgess, Nixon, Bettis and Shepherd the top 10, as Luke Crumbs just dropped a position to Harry Dodds for P11, but the bronze class race leader at this stage sitting comfortably in P12. And I tell you what, good gain thus far for Gary Watson tonight. After that early incident with the drive-through penalty as well, he's now up to P14, up 2 spots on the overall totem. It's a great look there for Gary, and I think, unfortunately for Ellie Gardner, her race may be done because she still has that meatball flag. I have a feeling she may have accidentally left her fast repair turned on that first pit stop earlier in the race, Brandon.
Yeah, unfortunately hasn't, so unfortunately she'll be sitting in the pits for quite some time. But look at the lead that Harris has here right now, pulling away, making good use of the gap as Tzikis and Wilkins. And now look at Muir now. He's going to be looking for some moves up towards from P4 and has made him stick. There we go. Oh, look at that, pushing Wilkins wide. So Muir and Blacklock have both gotten through on Wilkins. Now it's a big battle train here. Harris now looking for the way to get out of the just to get away from this. He doesn't want to be anywhere near his fellow competitors here. He wants to use this opportunity to just make it away, get away from everything so far. Looking a bit further back at some of the other battles here, Ryan Bettis and Dylan Shepherd, two men we have to keep an eye out for sure. As you can see, we've got a few comments in the chat here. Project 36, loving the wrestling reference there for Danhausen. So I think we might have earned ourselves a few more fans here.
I sneakily got a Jacob Fatu reference in there for those that may not have noticed as well. But we sneak it in as we can. Jack Wilkins under major pressure here, though. Simon was up at the inside, Miles Burgess on the outside, and they continue to fight through. Nixon's now trapped in behind them as well. And right now, it is an all-out fight. It's a Royal Rumble-worthy performance from them in an incredible matchup, and they don't want to be ending up going out within a second in this race as Wilkins gets a knock from Burgess and straight across the corner. Has to try and watch his rejoin here. He's knocked out here as it's allowed Bettis to get through. Will it allow Shepherd through? Well, keep an eye out on him, but this is all heating up further back in the top 10.
Oh, this is absolutely great battling here. Bettis comes out in front of the pack, followed closely by Burgess, Nixon, Shepherd. This is absolutely brilliant stuff here. It's an all-out street fight here at Miami.
I mean, there's no holds barred on the streets of Miami, and it feels like it's extreme rules right now for these drivers as Shepherd on the inside gets past his teammate Burgess, who moves right out of the way to allow both of them through. Watch for Dodds in the background as well. He's trying to make some early gains here, trying to get a couple of cheapies for himself as he's got Connor Nixon on his outside, gets through. Watch Jack Wilkins as well, trying to make it too wide. Wilkins goes round under the bridge, and max positions lost here for Wilkins as the rest of them continue on. And for Bettis, he's got to try and chase down Mazzomo and Blacklock to get up to Sam Muir in P3.
Oh, damn, Wilkins will be kicking himself for that one. Looking for a move from Connor Nixon. And look at this now, back up towards this battle for P2. Tzidakis in a silver class Porsche trying to defend from Muir and Blacklock. Tzidakis not going to give this one up without a fight. He is looking to get as many points as he can. Like you said, the points go from first all the way down to the last. You don't score points in class. As you can see now, Tzidakis now moving, trying to defend, stay on the racing line, try and keep out Sam Muir and Sam Blacklock. As we take a look a little bit further back, Mazzono in the back there. Look at Shepherd, look at Bettis resuming their battle from race one. And you can see just how they are trying to hound into the back here of Tzidakis, trying to make him make a little mistake, force a bit of pressure on him. Coming up towards this back section now, this little loop here, 7, 8, 9. Trying to see how we can get this going here. Got a bit of support in the chat for Alex Tzidakis. Look at this, he's going for it. Go the 49, go, go, go. Let's see if we can make it work. Look at Muir around the outside into 10. Oh, let's see if he can defend. Oh, this is close.
Watch Blacklock as well. He's right in there too. Muir's going to try and get it on the inside. Gets that job done on Tzidakis for now. He tucks back into P3 as Blacklock is now hooked up right behind the JMR car. He wants the move though. Doesn't want to hook him on the way through. Tzidakis survives, as does Blacklock. Watch for Mazzomo, Shepherd and Bettis in behind them as well, as this is just allowing the race leader, Daniel Harris, to run away from them as Tzidakis gives it up and gives the position to Blacklock here. But a fantastic race for Tzidakis tonight. And I think for this point, he doesn't necessarily need to risk podiums. He just needs to try and solidify points. And that's the strategy for Tzidakis here, to build a championship season. As Mazzomo wants to run up the inside at 17. Don't be surprised if Tzidakis gives it to him, because currently he's not losing any points to any other silver drivers. So he doesn't necessarily need to finish where he is.
That's certainly true there. You can the totem pole there on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see there, look at this. Mazzono looking for a move on Tzidakis. Shepherd looking for a move at the same time, gets it done. And now Ryan Bettis now has got to try and make that move stick as well. So Shepherd now showing some pace here in the later stage of this race. Just under 7 minutes to go to finish off our night of racing here at Miami. Look at Shepherd now, trying to put some pressure onto Zickis, trying to make his way through further up the grid. Look at that, down the inside. Gets it done cleanly. There you go, back on the throttle now. At the same time, Bettis made a move on Simon Mazzone, so I think we had a bit of a monkey see, monkey do happening out of the back there, of the backside of the track here. Look at Mazzone now. He's in a drag race now with Miles Burgess, and they're going to come into 10 now. Let's see if the race will still be on. Burgess makes it through pretty cleanly there on Mazzono.
We see as well Sam Muir still being put under lock and key pressure from Sam Blacklock, tucked up in behind him for P2 on the road. Harris is gone. He's run away 3.5 seconds. It's going to be tough for them to chase him down across the final 5.5 minutes of this race. But the podium's still on for the likes of Shepherd and Bettis and Burgess. Zickis could even get in there as well if any of them make contact and he can sneak on by. But the way that his car's performing tonight, the way that he's approaching this race, again, he's wanting to solidify a points finish here in race 2. He's not necessarily blocking or trying to defend these positions. He just wants to get this car home, win for the silver class again in race 2, and move on to Adelaide next week, where he'll hope to win that silver class championship. It's a very smart strategy and a very smart way to go racing. And by the way that he's gone racing this season, he's set himself up to be able to do this in the final 2 rounds, and he more than deserves it at this stage to have this nice little easy run across this night. But ultimately, he doesn't want to have a poor run next week at Adelaide. He needs to maximise and he needs to have an easy run once again.
Certainly doing Adelaide. I mean, look, this is Miami. Look how fast and flowing this track is compared to Adelaide next week. You know, the walls are tighter, not much runoff, not much carefree there. As we take a look a bit further up ahead, Sam Muir now trying to still fight for second. 3.3 seconds is the gap. I don't think, like you said, I don't think they're going to catch Daniel Harris here. Sam Blacklock now looking for a way up the front. Look at Dylan Shepherd now. He's looking for some pace. We know what kind of pace he has from race 1. So we'll see if he can put a bit of the gas. And look at this little beautiful POV shot here in the helmet of Dylan Shepherd. See what he's looking at here, coming through 10 and 11. Round and round we go. Now coming down here into the back section here. This is where a lot of the action is. Up over the curb. Beautiful switchback from the left to the right. Back to the left again. Now down this long back straightaway. You can just put your foot down. That's it. You don't have to worry about the brake pedal at all. And you can just see how he is absolutely hounding onto the back of Blacklock. Wants to get up further into the field. And you can just see how close he is to Blacklock now, right on the bumper, as they make their way now to complete lap 12 and onto lap 13 they go.
Well, ultimately for Blacklock, ultimately for Shepherd, he wants to try and get this car into P3 at the very least, because what it will mean is Bettis sets the fast lap of the race last time by. What it will mean is he'll actually tie points with Harris for this round, so they'll go back to their 1 point differential for the final round next week. So this is now damage limitation for Dylan Shepherd here tonight. If he finishes in P4, Harris will actually gain a couple of points on him ending this round and going into next week's race out at Adelaide. For Bettis, well, he was P2 in the last race. Harris being P1 now, he's gaining some great points on Bettis tonight. Now, it's not going to take a massive chunk out of his championship lead, but it's definitely a significant amount that's going to make next week's race that little bit easier for Harris, where he's going to be in a much better position to try and challenge for the championship and hopefully cut down those points, to at least an achievable amount that he can overcome out at Adelaide Street Circuit across the 2 40-minute races next week, where 320 points are going to be on offer for the double race win across those 40-minute races. It means that anyone within that chance can win the championship.
Yeah, it certainly makes for a very close finish for the finale, and that's what you want in any form of motor racing, be it real or virtual. And you can see Blacklock now has found a bit of pace now, wanting to get past Sam Muir. Look how close he is. Oh, we're pulling a bit of a motocross-style wheelie over that section there. Look at Shepherd now as well, under a bit of pressure from his teammate. Look at Blacklock here going with Sam Muir, trying to keep up with the slipstream and see how much speed he can gain. Look at how far to the left-hand side of the track they are. Now to the right, zigzagging like a little snake, trying to break the toe just a little bit, but Blacklock's wise to it, looking for some moves down on Samuel as they come across the final couple of corners, switching left, switching right to start another lap. We are just over 1 minute to go in this one, so not too far away from getting our results.
This should be white flag. Oh, it's super close. This should be white flag. Should be the final lap. They're within a single lap distance of the race end. So for Daniel Harris, it means he is going to make the end of this race on his fuel. He knew that he could fuel save. Muir's trying to do the same thing, but he's being pressurized here from Sam Blacklock at a maximum level in the first half of this lap. But for Shepherd and Bettis, they've got to hope that these two come together to really put the pressure on Harris here tonight in terms of points that he could possibly gain leading into Adelaide next week.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do now. Well, I mean, this being potentially the white flag lap, the last lap of this race. Look at the gap now. So Blacklock's opened up a bit of a gap to Dylan Shepherd now. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to catch him for this straightaway here, but you got to watch your battles. Pick your battles, pick your moments. Look at Blacklock now up right in behind Sam Muir coming down to turn 10. Going to be looking for some moves. He was ultra close coming out of turn 1 at the start of this lap. Let's see how close he can get to Sam Muir, that is. Coming now one more time through this section here. Again, motocross style wheelie over the curves. Look how close he is now. He's kissing the bumper. Straight away pulls to the left of Sam Muir. Blacklock wise to it, going to pull in with him. Look at the slipstream now. The slipstreaming cars, and these cars in particular, are very, very powerful. All the same motor. Oh, look at that. Diving up the inside, going to force Sam to go wide as Blacklock now makes it stick. Oh, how close do you want it?
How close do you want it indeed? And what it's going to mean is Daniel Harris has managed to get home in a race-winning position. And for Sam Blacklock, in an ultimate move at the final corner, he's taken home the race P2 to Sam Muir. Ryan Bettis gets past Dylan Shepherd on the final lap up into P4 there with Burgess in P6. Alex Tzikis wins for the silver class in race 2, Brandon. And Luke Crum will come across the line to win the feature race for the bronze class here this evening. What a great race it was, though, across both events here in Miami. Fantastic round once again.
Oh, absolutely fantastic stuff. Daniel Harris will be happy with those results. And I think Dylan Shepherd will be happy with his results from race 1. Last to first in race 1. I think we have had some fantastic racing here at Miami tonight. We'll take a look at the results for race 2 in full.
We're just waiting on a few drivers to finish out their race. Todd Suter is just about to finish out his run. Ellie Gardner's back out there as well, so they just got to cross the line to finish their race, and then we'll get our race results here for race 2 at the end of it as well. But Suter comes up towards the line. Race 2 will finish up in just a moment's notice, and what it will mean is it's a very, very strong performance with the likes of Blacklock, Muir, and Daniel Harris, who got their cars home at just the right time here this evening. And what was a fantastic race to the end for them, it must be said tonight, Brandon. An incredible battle all the way to the end for them too. Shepherd and Bettis not quite close enough. What it means is Harris will remain leaving this round in P2 in the championship. And ultimately, it's a fantastic effort for him. So off of race 1, this is how they ended out. It was Dylan Shepherd to Ryan Bettis and Sam Muir for the top 3. Harris was in P4 in that race, I do apologise. Connor Nixon P5 to Ali Gardner for P6. Miles Burgess, Harry Dodds won the silver class in race 1 to Alex Tzikis and Jack Wilkins at the back end of the top 10. Simon Mazzomo, Craig Schulte to Sam Blacklock, with Todd Suter winning for the bronze class in race 1. Jamie Fleming made up our top 15. They were then inverted for the start of race 2 with Gary Watson, Joel Hansen and Luke Crum making up the top 18 positions in race number 1. To race number 2 we go. And we'll find ourselves with Daniel Harris taking the victory to Sam Blacklock and Sam Muir on the podium. Ryan Bettis finishes out in P4 with Dylan Shepherd coming home in P5. So it's points gained for Harris over Shepherd. and it should also be points gained for him over Ryan Bettis as well coming out of this round. Miles Burgess ahead of Alex Tzikis, who wins it for the silver class in race 2, with Simon Mazzomo, Connor Nixon and Craig Schultz making up the top 10. That's a great result for Schultzy after the early contact in this race. Harry Dodds ahead of the bronze class winner for race 2, Luke Crum, with Jamie Fleming, Jack Wilkins, Gary Watson the top 15, Jolan Hansen, Todd Suter and Ellie Gardner makes up the 18 car field here this evening. We move on now to have a quick chat to some of our drivers here this evening, and we'll begin with our bronze class winner on the road for race 2 in Mr. Luke Crum. Crummy, welcome in. Congratulations. Another feature race win for yourself. You're making a habit out of this now, winning the second race on the night for the bronze class. How'd you find it out there here in Miami? Looked to be fun for a lot of the drivers out there, and off of an unfortunate run in race 1, race 2 was really one that was favourable for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty slippery old track. I'd never raced this track before, so yeah, it was interesting.
Well, it looked good and looked like it somewhat suited the car. I mean, it was in the officials earlier in the season, and I know that a lot of drivers got a lot of laps here at the beginning of the regular iRacing season in those officials. How did you find the track car combination, though? Because from our perspective, it looked like the racing was bloody epic out there between each car, and this looked like a circuit that really suited this car type in a circuit that could really promote you to be confident in the car around here and to be able to push it as well.
Yeah, so I found it because of obviously the long corners and the multi apexes. It was a bit understeery, but as the car as the tyres come alive, it promoted pretty good racing. You could sort of hold your lines really well, and there was also multiple lines that people were taking, which sort of makes it a bit more racy like, you know. So
Yep.
It was pretty cool. That I see. That's probably why we saw a lot of cars like too wide and all that. Actually, it's a pretty good circuit for these cars. Actually, it's got the right amount of horsepower and the right amount of downforce.
Well, obviously a strong one for yourself once again. Are we going to be able to see you out on track next week at Adelaide for the final round of the season?
Unfortunately not. This was my last one for this season, so I did a couple of doughies at the end of the straight there just to sort of celebrate. So, yeah, unfortunately not, but I'll be back next season.
Are we going to see Chop out there as well next season in the Cup car?
Oh, I'm trying, but he just does not like Porsches. He's a bit he doesn't like them.
I think he needs to toughen up a little bit.
Yeah, nah. He'll race everything else except Porsches. So yeah, he just doesn't like them. But yeah, I might be able to get a couple of the other LCR boys. We'll just see.
Oh, well, we look forward to seeing if they are out here with you next season on board the Cup car. But congratulations on the performance here tonight, Crummy, for P1 in the second race for the bronze class. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, so LCR Esports, all the guys there, Chops Remote Tech Support, JDRF Australia, Thorntech Electrical, BM Auto Care, Atomic Batteries and Night Rider Designs, and also all of you lot for running this series. It's a great series. It's good to be part of, and I urge more people to get into it.
Well, we have got sign-ups open for next season. We'll be going racing at the end of March for Season 5. But, Crummy, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us this season, and we look forward to seeing you back again for Season 5. And best of luck in the next time you're racing with us here in the iRacing World Challenge.
Thank you very much. Pleasure as always. See you, boys.
Thanks so much. See ya. Next up here this evening, we have our silver class race winner for the feature race here this evening, and it is going the way of Alex Tzikis, who drove a very clean and smart race here tonight. Alex, we saw you and the pressure that you were under early in this race, but once your main challenger this season, Jack Wilkins, dropped back, it appeared that it was more so damage limitation style of racing out there tonight. Was it more or less you were just trying to solidify your points in race 2 and make sure you were going to beat the other silver class drivers leading into the final round next week at Adelaide?
Yeah, it sure was. I was just trying to see how high I could finish as possible. Like P2 would have been great, but all them gold class drivers were just very fast behind me. So I was just like, let's just let them go and finish as high as we can,
Well, I mean, it's a very smart and sound strategy, obviously, especially at this point of the season, knowing that you can't drop your points from tonight's race, so you were going to have to carry whatever you got out of it. And, points on the board are points on the board. You've beaten the other silver class drivers, which is obviously the most important thing for you. Next week at Adelaide, you're going to have a pretty significant points gap now back to Wilkins. is it going to be just a similar strategy of, well, let's just get the car home, try and beat him on the road next week, but ultimately get some solid points on the board, because it's going to be very tough for him to outscore you next week. I mean, he's ultimately going to need probably 2 top 5 finishes, and he's going to need you to finish at the back. So knowing that fact, is it going to be head into Adelaide next week and just try and cruise around for the 2 40-minute races and take home some points and take home the championship?
Yeah, I think just just bring it home. If we finish high, then that would be a bonus. But yeah, I think that's just the main thing. Just mainly bring that car home next week and just enjoy the final round of the season. If I do win the championship or not.
Well, I mean, it's, the growth you've shown this season in this car and in your racecraft as well has been absolutely fantastic. You've had some absolute shining moments throughout the season, so you should be very proud of the championship season you've been putting together for yourself. We look forward to seeing how you go at Adelaide next week, and we appreciate you coming and have a chat to us as well. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout to the team, J Mart South, Night Shift Collective, Welsh Brothers, all the boys on the team, and especially Jason Douglas for spotting for me tonight. He was a real help for me.
Well, we hope we can see yourself and Jace out on track next week for the final round as well. Best of luck at Adelaide next week, Alex. Appreciate your time, and we'll see if we're talking to you next week as a Silver Class champion at the end of the final round.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so.
No worries. Thanks so much.
Yeah, cheers, Hamish.
And finally, here this evening, our Gold Class winner for Race 2. He's now a 2-time winner in the series for Season 4. It is Daniel Harris, who crucially gains, my math's correct, Daniel, I think you gained about 10 points on Ryan tonight, which is still a gain, obviously, throughout the evening, and Adelaide can throw up anything next week, but that was an awesome race out there in Race 1. You guys were going for absolute sheep stations, super close. I know there was a couple of things you called into race control, but from outside the car, it was some of the best battling we've seen amongst this series between 6 Gold Class drivers, where any of you very easily could have been a millimetre out of line, and ultimately it could have ended in disaster, and somehow it didn't.
Yeah, probably a bit lucky it didn't end up in disaster. Wasn't the happiest on some of the moves that people were doing in terms of defending and on corner exit. But guess that's racing. Definitely think I probably should have walked away with probably a P2 or at a minimum in that first race. But fighting with Blacklock unfortunately lost us too much time, and finished P4, which all in all was a pretty good result.
Well, of course, Daniel, next week at Adelaide, Adelaide's going to be a factor in itself. 2 40-minute races, there's extra points available for both those races compared to a regular round. How are you going to try and topple the mountain that is OPR going into next week's race? Because it's going to be an almighty challenge to try and beat both of them. And I think at this point of the season, there is probably onus between them now on Ryan, being that he is so far ahead of Dylan at this point of the championship. So what do you think you can best do to try and go up against them next week, where you'll try and win the championship on the streets of Adelaide?
Luck, probably. Probably going to be a big factor. I've just tried to be consistent, which hasn't really worked this season. Definitely a couple of results that shouldn't have been as low as they were. But yeah, I'm just going to try and be consistent, be at the front. I had pole this evening, so that was a good benchmark and gives me a bit of confidence going into Adelaide. But yeah, anything can happen. Those walls are treacherous, and T8 is unforgiving.
Well, it really is. But Daniel, you've driven fantastic this season. 2 wins now to this point, both taken in the United States of America, by the way. So I think you're officially considered a Yank by that margin. But no, congratulations on the success this season. We wish you the best of luck next week out at Adelaide, where you'll hope to win the championship for the first time. Hopefully, unlike last time when you were challenging at a street circuit, it doesn't go the same way for you, and hopefully you can put up a fight across both races next week, and we can see you putting in as tight of a piece of competition as you can towards Ryan Bettis in battling for this championship.
Yeah, hopefully some more people show up. This is one of the lowest
participation
rounds. I really hope
so.
More people
Yep.
show up so that it makes it a bit more interesting. But thanks guys.
Well, Daniel, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Yeah, just Jack for hanging out.
Very good. But yeah, I mean, we hope to see more drivers being in at the end of the season. Unfortunately, it gets to the end and people are not in contention, so they don't come and race. But hopefully Adelaide brings in a couple of drivers next week, knowing that it's a home soil circuit, and drivers maybe hoping to race around there in the P Cup car. But yeah, and obviously as well, sign-ups for next season are open. Daniel was the first person to sign up. He didn't want to sign up, and then he saw the calendar and he's like, well, I have to now. So yeah, come and battle Daniel next season. He's now signed up for next season. So, best of luck next week, though, at Adelaide. Daniel, we appreciate your time here tonight, and congratulations on the race win in race 2 here this evening.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thanks so much. Well, Brandon, 9 weeks of pressure have now solidified into a diamond that we'll look into and watch along for next week as we go racing for the final time in Season 4. Miami really threw up some fantastic racing here this evening. One of the best sets of racing we've seen for a little while here in the series as well, and it's been an all-time season across the board from start to finish. A real up-and-down season as well, obviously. And I'm really looking forward to next week's race at Adelaide. I'll be honest with you, at the end of Brands Hatch, I didn't even know if we were going to make it to Adelaide as a broadcast. And the fact that we're getting in there now with an incredible championship battle on offer for us, it's going to be a spectacular battle and a real spectacle to the end of this championship to find out who is going to be crowned the Season 4 champion of the VRS Porsche Cup Series.
Yeah, this has been an amazing category to not only watch but be a part of as a commentator. Looking forward to going from one street track as in Miami for tonight, and then next week, of course, we go into the Devil's Playground, if you will, of Adelaide. Much tighter street circuit. Looking forward to that one. And if this week's race was anything to go by, I think we're in for a banger next week.
I think we're going to be in for an absolute treat. And if you haven't seen what Adelaide's been like on the iRacing service over the last season, well, where have you been? It's been absolute chaos whenever we've gone here. Across multiple series that I've called, I got to call Premier Endurance League last night, and if our race next week's anything like that, anyone can win the championship. Realistically, anyone can end up in the wall, and anyone can end up back in pit lane. So, 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We go racing next week for the final round of the VRS Porsche Cup Series for Season 4, right here on Infinity Broadcasting. We want to give a shout out, of course, to our series sponsors. VRS Virtual Racing School have been with us for the previous 12 months and are continuing their partnership with the series as well. To SPP Graphics and Blackheart Designs, our appreciations go out to them. And to win us here in Infinity Broadcasting, if you want to help support us, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the channel. We're so close to 350 subscribers. We would love to get there by the end of March here in 2026. We're at 348 subscribers. We're only 2 away. So please hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon as well, so you guys can help support us, as it will mean that we can be marketed to more people and we can try and get more series on offer here as well via either the iRacing World Challenge or via other series broadcasted right here on Affinity Broadcasting. But I've been Hamish Munro with Brandon Stuck alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your efforts being here with us once again for the previous 9 weeks here of the Porsche Cup Series. We'll see you guys next week for Season 4's grand finale as we go racing at Adelaide Street Circuit for the very first time. Oh, it's going to be special. You don't want to miss it. 7:50 p.m. We'll see you then. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Control, feel the thunder in my soul. Through the danger, through the pain, only one thing to do to get to victory lane. Taking risks, full send, and in the end, be the best. It's taken over, cannot contain the desire to get to victory lane. I hear the echoes of the past, the roaring ghosts that never last. But here I stand, the finish line. One last race, one last time. Through it all, get past the pain. victory lane. Speeding faster, no control.